Who would have thought that a dusty piano in the corner of a grand hall could change the way people looked at a broken man? That was the moment no one could have imagined, when a single dad, worn down by life's struggles, was mocked into playing, only for his hidden genius to leave everyone breathless. Stick with me until the end of this story, because what happened that night will not only shock you, it might just remind you of the power of dignity, resilience, and never judging someone by the surface. And if stories like this move you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so more people can be touched by stories of hope and courage. The evening began inside the golden chandeliers of the Whitmore estate, where the rich and powerful gathered for a lavish fundraiser. Businessmen in silk suits, women in glittering gowns, and the air thick with arrogance and champagne. Among them stood a man who did not belong, Michael, a single father, a war veteran, with tired eyes that carried both grief and strength. He had been invited only because he worked as part of the catering team, trying to provide for his little daughter, Emily, waiting for him at home with nothing but hope that her dad would somehow keep going. Michael had once been a proud soldier, respected, fearless, decorated with honors. But life after service was cruel. His wife passed away during his deployment, leaving him to raise Emily alone. He traded the uniform for odd jobs, carrying plates instead of rifles, hiding scars both seen and unseen. Tonight, he blended in with the wait staff, trying to stay invisible in a room filled with people who thought they were above him. That's when it happened. Mr. Whitmore, the host himself, a man whose money dripped from his every word, noticed Michael pausing near the old grand piano in the corner. Whitmore sneered, his voice cutting through the laughter of his guests. "You there, soldier boy. Why don't you give us a little music? Let's see what kind of talents you've got beyond carrying trays." The crowd chuckled, some leaning in with curiosity, others smirking as though waiting for a spectacle. Michael froze. His hands trembled. He hadn't touched a piano in years, not since before the war. Music had been his first love, his sanctuary as a boy, something he shared with his wife before fate tore them apart. But since then, life had buried that gift under layers of pain and survival. To play now, in front of these mocking faces, felt like stepping into a trap. I can't," he muttered softly, shaking his head. But Whitmore pressed on, louder this time. "Come now, don't be shy. Or is the great veteran afraid of a few keys? What kind of hero runs from a piano?" The room erupted in laughter. Something shifted inside Michael then. Not pride, but a burning need to show them that dignity isn't theirs to mock. Slowly, he walked toward the piano, every step heavy with the weight of his memories. The hall grew quieter. The guests leaned forward, expecting a clumsy attempt, maybe a laugh at the expense of the poor veteran. But when he sat down, something strange caught the eye of those closest to him. As Michael rolled up his sleeves, a tattoo on his forearm glimmered under the golden light, an intricate design of musical notes intertwined with a soaring eagle. It wasn't just ink. It was a story, a reminder of who he truly was before the world tried to strip him down. Then his fingers touched the keys. At first, a soft chord, trembling like a wounded bird. But within seconds, it grew. Music poured out, deep, haunting, powerful. A melody that seemed to echo both his pain and his hope. Every note carried years of loneliness, battles fought, nights he cried alone with his daughter asleep beside him. Yet woven through it was beauty, raw, undeniable beauty. The mocking smiles melted into silence. People who minutes ago had seen him as a joke now sat frozen, tears forming in their eyes. Whitmore himself shifted uncomfortably, his smugness vanishing as the music filled every corner of the room. This wasn't the sound of a man broken. This was genius. This was resilience. This was a soldier who carried scars but still knew how to turn pain into something transcendent. Michael played until the final chord lingered in the air like a prayer, leaving the entire hall breathless. When he finally lifted his hands from the keys, the silence cracked, applause erupted like thunder. Some stood on their feet, others wiped away tears, ashamed of the way they had judged him moments before. Michael bowed his head, not for applause, but for his wife's memory, for the little girl at home who would never know how hard he fought to keep their world together. Whitmore, red-faced and stripped of his arrogance, forced a stiff smile. "Well, unexpected talent," he muttered, trying to regain control. But the crowd no longer looked at him. They looked at Michael, the man they had mocked, the man who reminded them all that greatness doesn't wear wealth or titles. It wears resilience, scars, and sometimes a tattoo that tells a story more powerful than words. That night, Michael walked home lighter than he had in years. He carried no riches, no promises, but he carried something stronger: respect earned, dignity restored, and the knowledge that his music, like his soul, could never truly be broken. When Emily woke the next morning and hugged her dad tight, she whispered, "I knew you were a hero, Daddy." And this time, Michael smiled, not with pain, but with pride. So, remember this: never mock someone for where they stand, because you may not know the battles they've fought or the gifts they carry. And if this story touched you, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more powerful journeys of courage and hope. Because sometimes, the ones we overlook are the ones who shine the brightest when the world tries to dim their light.